Here we go. 5, 4,
9,
3,
12,
2, 1.
6. Big hello to you.
If
Welcome.
you go up to the loft today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go up to the loft today, you'll never believe your eyes. For every train there ever was has gathered there together because today's the day that Jenny does
the Monday Club.
Yay!
Monday Club for everyone. You got a big term. I'm grabbing it with the finger. So
Stop making my belly wobble like a bowl full of jelly.
Right, can I have the chat on screen, please?
You can, since you said hello and thank you and please.
So a big hello to everybody. Don't forget to tickle that like button and share the stream. We actually have been a little bit ill today. So we
Not just a little bit. Oh, I'm paying for the fact that we did all that stuff over
we've
the
spent
weekend.
a lot of the day asleep. We got up about an hour before the stream, and then it was. Did you create the stream and share it? No, did you? So
oh my goodness, I was just so
we're
wrecked.
running a
I
bit
realised.
behind.
I think neither of us has a little behind.
Values 56XX says there's an echo on the audio. I think you'll find that's me. Is that? Yeah, that's me. Right, so we've got Ham Shackleton, Simon Train's Mother Railway Showcase, Southern Train Girl, South Line, Southern Line, Gordon Hanning, Flamachon 1, Sarah Davis, George, Josh's Railway Adventures, Vobert Becking, Valleys 56XX, Harry Sedgwick, Ralph Davey, David, It's My Model Railway, Skipsy Trains, big hello to you. It was great to have you hang out on the impromptu Saturday stream.
Yeah, thank you for coming along.
Absolutely. We had a bit of a Saturday Superstore in progress. As you may have seen, even if you didn't catch us live, so I'm just trying to fix this fan so it blows air at me rather than the floor.
Shackleton says a little behind. I was wondering how to put that without offending anyone. No, I'm pretty sure neither of us counts as a little behind.
Yeah, but
she is. Saw us on the live streams as we were wandering around and looking at the second-hand tables at Rails of Sheffield. Neither of us is what you would call svelte.
Yeah, let's just say my figure packed up and left a little while ago. Smallwood Junction, hello to you. Going to the Dogs, Joshua W56, Martin Halstead, Richard Swiderski, Larry Rogers, Samuel Ives, Dean Fielding, Iron Horse Railways, says evening all, hope you're all well. Won't be chatting much this evening, not feeling too great. There's stuff going around. We've been struggling as well, it has to be said.
Valleys 56XX says, oh, the echo was me. I had 2 windows of your stream open. Hey, that's great for our stats, so please keep going.
Yeah, just turn the sound down on one of them. Skipsy Train says, my pleasure. A double whammy as you got to meet my wife too. Yes, we saw Mrs. Skipsy Trains and actually also managed to have a great long chat and a bit of an interview with her as well.
Yeah.
So it was really great as well to see so many people at the Rails Open Day on Saturday. We actually did the Monday Club live Saturday getaway, and we did 2 live streams from there, one before, one after lunch. It's a really good buffet. I know it being a bank holiday weekend and quite sunny, I think a lot of people were probably out in the garden or at the beach or whatever, and possibly didn't notice until afterwards. I noticed the stats on those videos have really taken off since we got back from the Rails thing.
Yeah. I can't blame anyone for being out and enjoying the sun. I mean, we would have been. In fact, we were.
And we got some really great deals actually going on there. If you were there, remember there were huge rummage trays of unboxed wagons, £5 a wagon. I got a whole load of Bachman Branch Line open wagons, private owner liveries.
And I got you a nice little Zaflora one.
You did actually, yes.
And your particular favourite shade of green.
What you mean?
No, it's
dubious mucus green.
Yeah, it's the Monday Club wagon box green.
No, it was more of a lime green. But
okay, fair enough.
Nigel Cole says, "What echo? What echo? What echo?"
What?
Simon Train's
Oh,
Model
I
Railway
see
Showcase
now.
says, I was at work on Saturday. Yeah,
Oh, so were we.
yeah, technically we were as well.
I've just realised all those toffee-nosed Brits from all of the stereotypes. What? They're not saying what. They're saying what. But they happen to be in an echoey chamber. What?
Yes.
What?
And
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, I got the rare Kickline Jack's Pacific RC Allison's Ford Mustang, the Hustle 2. That's a bit of a mouthful. Do they have to write that really small on the box?
Jack's Pacific, I know them.
Do you? Who are
Yes. Okay.
they? Impart your knowledge.
Back in the 70s, a guy created a company called LJN, and he was there to make toys. And
Okay.
he was pretty good at making toys and got quite big. And then someone muscled in and essentially pushed him out of his company. And they went into computer games and became LJN, the publisher of... They could have been great, but there's something fundamentally wrong with them type of games for the Nintendo.
Right,
So
right.
he went on and created Jack's Pacific. And then he got muscled out of his company.
He seems to have not really thought out the structure of his company.
It's just one of those things. He now has a different company. There's a third one, and he's got control of that. But it's like this guy, essentially, due to the fact that he kept getting muscled out, built 3 really successful toy companies in rapid succession.
Oh, I was going to say, it's a bit like the guy who founded the company 4UP, the soft drinks company. But it's not really, because he managed to do 4UP, then 5UP, and then finally he put the last of his life savings into 6UP and died penniless. He didn't know how close he got.
Jen, that is a terrible, terrible joke.
Tim's Model Railway in different videos says, do you buy anything at Rails of Sheffield event?
Oh, did she?
Yeah. About 250 squid's worth of stuff. So you'll be seeing this coming up on a
box?
future... No, the contents, you wally brain.
You're not going to show us the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? Well, you'll find out when I do the box opening and review of that. It's a Hellion model, and really looking forward to that.
Hellion.
Yeah, stop it from... Oh, that's annoying when it rocks up the pages there. Come here, you
Yes.
bird.
We now know it's called Hellion because you talked to the person who corrected you. You used to call it Helgen.
Yeah, just like most people did.
Like, oh, hell, Jen.
Yeah. Oh, hell. There was lots of samples as well on display from various manufacturers, including Scale, who weren't able to attend in person, but they did have the samples of the Children's, as well as the 37s and a number of other wagons as well. There was Cavalex there as well, and actually we were... I like that. Jerry BBR says, did she buy anything? Is the Pope Catholic?
I don't know, we should probably go and check.
Yeah, as somebody actually asked him, mate, that would be a bit of an ecumenical crisis, wouldn't it? If they went to the Pope and went, just wondering, just settling about. Are you Catholic? And he went, no, don't tell anybody. They never bothered asking.
I just get the cushy job if I don't say anything.
Yeah, they just knocked on my door, never said which religion I was. Skipsy's Trains spent £175 on second-hand stuff before discount. Discount? I didn't get a discount.
Yeah, you didn't turn up at 7 o'clock in the morning to help put everything out.
No, I just did a live stream promoting the event for the full day.
Yeah, well, you got views.
Yeah. Oh, right, yes. And
You
if
got paid in exposure, darling.
Oh, I hate that. But it'd be great exposure for you.
No,
Do you know what else would be great exposure? If I stole all your clothes and ran away.
No, that would be indecent exposure.
Well, same thing. Michael Gray, good evening to you. Egg Rider as well, we've got him. We've got loads of people in, actually. Anybody would think it's a bank holiday.
Yeah.
Stevie Films says Hellion have a 165 sample. I don't know if they do. There was a 104 sample, I think, doing the rounds. Skipsy Train says got a 25 quid discount. I paid sticker price, I'll have you know. People make out like I'm like, oh, look at Jenny truffing it. I bet she gets loads of free stuff. No, she paid sticker price. Full sticker price on that Hellion. And I did get as well, right at the very end, let me change the angle so I can show you.
Change the angle a little angle.
Yeah. Oh, come on!
This was working for a minute ago.
Oh, that has annoyed me. Hold on, I'm going to fix this. Because it has annoyed me. Things that annoy me.
Get fixed.
So just give me a moment.
Did you press the wrong button? We should be back.
Are we?
We should be back. I'm bringing up the monitor. So we should be here. Hello, and sorry about that. We were very rudely interrupted there, guys, weren't we? By horrible gremlins from beyond space. Also known as Microsoft. So Jen, do you want to...
So why are we not appearing on screen?
I don't know yet, Jen. I'm trying my best here, please.
Oh, we're seeing, like, somebody said yay in the comments. The stream being delivered by Royal Fail. Yay, yeah. Billy's replacement. Way. Hello again.
Yes, people are sending you back.
So apparently we're back. It's not appeared on my my thing yet.
Well, so, then restart that.
So let's just come back. Oh yes, it's like, yeah, we wanted to ruin your experience with some adverts.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So apparently we are back. Let me just yeah, it is the same thing because it says I've already liked it.
Yeah, we're still going. We're still here.
Yeah, get lost, stupid. No, I don't want to hear about 20% battery. I hate computers. Right.
Jenny hates everything that isn't an abacus or basically a class 4.
Right. Anyway, yeah, and of course
that's because Jenny is wrong because Gronk's the best.
This doing? Oh, look at that. Oh, look, I see you really busy. Can we
mess you around?
Yeah, can we screw you over? Oh, that'd be lovely. Oh, isn't that lovely?
Okay, Jenny is having a bit of a tantrum now.
No, don't ever say that.
Well, you are. You just shook everything and broke it.
I was trying to separate the things.
Wow. Okay, so for anyone... Jerry BPR says, Zoe, it could be worse. Tonight's NASA stream sounds like it's sponsored by the Daleks.
Oh, does it? Oh, they got a bit of an issue with the audio.
Yeah. So Jen's having quite a time. I'm going to let her keep going. Sarah Davis says, well, another Windows downgrade. Funnily enough, it wasn't. We haven't had an update. The computer didn't say it was updating. When it caused a fundamental crash, it didn't say it was installing any updates. We don't know what that was. It just broke. It
just decided. I think it's messing about in the background. You know, almost certain of that. Right, let me just sort these out.
Evan Terry says, I had a railway experience on a miniature railway today. I got to help guard and drive the train. At the end of the day, clean it down. That's cool. Very nice.
Keep talking.
Excuse me. Sorry. Valleys56XX says, the NASA rocket is broken. Oh my goodness.
Again?
That's quite a bad thing. They check and double check and triple check everything.
Yeah, they even send a list to Santa and he checks it twice.
Yeah.
Right. Anywho.
Oh my goodness. Right. Well, I hope NASA get that sorted because that is a fundamentally problematic thing. Go on then, Jen.
Meanwhile, back on the stream, as we were back before we were rudely interrupted, this is the other item that I bought. I wished I hadn't tried to show you it.
Yeah, we're a bit iffy on pressing any of the buttons now. It's like, don't touch anything. It all seems to be working as long as we don't move.
Yeah.
Okay. Jen, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's broken. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, it's good.
So, hopefully, do let people know the stream's back on. Because despite our assurances, about 60 people bailed out of the stream. I know. Have they not been here before?
Always come back.
So
we're like Dracula.
Yes. Big hello to Mick at Edgeley Park Station, Hot Dog Pilot 63, Finley Garden, as well as lots and lots of names in. So we've got a really good turnout. Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. I'm just looking for. Nigel Cole says, "Oh my God, a giant hand!" Where's the Oh no!
It's a 1920s special effect.
No, monkey magic! You be careful. I see you so close to destroying my lovely trees. So if you wouldn't mind.
Oh.
Jerry BVR says NASA spent 2.2 billion and have trouble with the valves. Should have gotten microchips.
It happens, unfortunately. They cancelled their Artemis launch this morning. Oh, that's...
Yeah, they thought they had a crack, and actually it turned out they just had frosting on the outside.
Well, to be honest with you, better safe than sorry.
Yes. Anyway, today's
That is one thing that I do love NASA for. We found an issue, we're not even going to chance it.
Yeah, when you've spent that much on a rocket, you don't want to just have a cavalier attitude about it. So tonight's beverage of choice is Heineken 0% alcohol. So you'll occasionally see me swigging from that.
Tonight's beverage of choice is a random zero alcohol beer we found in the fridge.
Well, we know where it came from. I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yes,
so...
Donkits, you are absolutely right. Challenger. I still can't believe that. One person went on TV and said it was an issue with a loose wire in the cockpit, to which the TV presenter said, "What is a loose wire doing in the cockpit of a rocket?"
And also, that was clearly BS, because it turned out to be an issue with the O-ring seals on the main booster failing, which caused basically superheated combustion gases to come out sideways and play onto the main fuel tank.
Yeah.
So where they got this loose wire nonsense from, I don't know.
It's atrocious.
But hey, right.
Everyone's saying, yeah, they must have got their microchips from Iceland. Alex Dent, we're using Google Chrome. We don't touch Microsoft Edge.
Oh, no. We're not edgelords. It has to be
We use Google Chrome because it works exactly as we want, and it's definitely compatible with YouTube's back end, which is what we need to make this show work.
Worthington Model Railway says Guinness Zero is way better.
I will agree to that. Yeah. I love Guinness Zero.
I was going to say that's in your wheelhouse, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right. Sarah Davis says O-rings again. That's what happened to Challenger. Something to do with they had unexpectedly cold weather that morning, maybe even a light frost, which, is unusual for Florida. Yeah. But I'm sure they noticed it when it happened, and that in turn caused the O-ring to fail.
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember watching that.
I didn't. I never saw it.
I don't think it was being shown live in the UK, but...
It was being shown live in a number of American schools.
Although I remember watching it and being very shocked, and I don't know whether it was on News Round with John Craven, or whether, for some reason, it was being watched live. I know that there was a school teacher on the flight, isn't there?
Yeah, that's why all the schools were watching it live.
Yeah. And also, Ron McNair, the astronaut, was going to become the first man to, or the first person to record a piece of music from space. He actually had his saxophone with him. And the piece that it was supposed to be recorded for was the Final Rendezvous, the Jean-Michel Jarre track that's on the album Rendezvous.
Wow.
Which is why, if you ever listen to that album, it's dedicated to him and the crew of the Challenger.
Nice.
Model Railway Fantasia says home-cooked chips, yum yum.
Oh, love them.
Oh.
Ben Tullett says, "Evening, Jenny and Zoe. I am slightly late." Hugh Gandalf.
Oh, I can hear him coming. You can hear those robes flapping.
A Monday clubber is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
And of course, Skipsy Trains got to meet Gandalf.
Yeah, we all got to meet Gandalf.
Yeah,
he wasn't happy about being stuffed in the boot of the car.
Yeah, we had to put him in the boot of the car, just because we had stuff on the back seat. But he did like the buffet. He was quite keen on that. In fact, we had to stop him from turning his hat upside down and filling it up, because we happened to know that, being a magician, he was able to create a portal to a chest elsewhere, and it was basically just filling his larder off the table.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't mean his car. Leicester Station and TMD, big hello to you.
Does Gandalf get time off on a bank holiday? Gandalf has time off whenever he wants it.
Yes, for he is a wizard.
And technically not part of the staff.
Staff? But that
He has
was,
a staff.
can I just say, staff implies we get paid. We don't get paid. Or if
That's
we
true.
do, somebody has been...
Sorry, I just realised if I lean back on my chair, you can't get to see my hair.
Yeah, and also my tree that I keep warning you about is getting ever closer to being damaged by your incompetence.
Not incompetence. I'm doing it on purpose.
And Paul Murphy says the sound... Oh, this is it. Get your trombone ready. The sound of music in space is out of this world. Where's your trombone?
I'm sorry, I had to
Gandalf,
applaud
bring
that.
a trombone. Warbler Production says, I thought Zoe got paid in peanuts.
She does. And I like them.
Do you? I don't get
Yes.
anything.
You get exposure. And sometimes it's decent.
I always hate that where you see adverts for things like, oh yes, we'd like you to do this and do that, and it'll be great exposure for you. I look at that and just like, I've got no time for companies that seem to think that is even remotely acceptable.
It's just chances trying to steal work from you.
Thieves.
Yeah.
Absolute thieves.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they should all be sued under minimum wage legislation.
Yes.
B2000 RO Toys channel says, hi Jenny and Zoe, I'm going on holiday to Whitby next week. This Saturday I went to Butterley Midland Railway and met the props from Thomas and Tuggs. Ah yes, of course, they now reside at the Midland Railway.
Nice.
I don't remember Tuggs, but it was done by the same people that did the proper Thomas the Tank Engine TV series.
Talking about TV shows we didn't remember, we've been watching something on Netflix about Jerry Anderson and Super Mario Nation.
Oh yeah, Four Feather Falls was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, never heard of it.
Four Feather Falls looked really well produced.
Yeah.
And then all of these other ones that they did before Captain Scarlet, Joe Knight and that. I was amazed by the amount of stuff they did. But they got the lip sync technology down so quick. I was amazed.
Yeah,
So well done.
and they actually figured out how to do the lip syncing. And Four Feather Falls was the first time they'd done it.
So well
George
done.
says, much news this week. Apart from micro rubbish being absolutely rubbish. Big hello to J94 as well. But yeah, other news. What other news do we have from last week? Basically, we went to the Rails Open Day and we got to chat with quite a few different manufacturers. So Cavalex models were there. And the Cavalex boys came on, had a chat with us. We all squidged onto that little wooden bench, which was all good fun. And had a chat about their HAA hoppers that are coming through. They've been delayed because essentially everything was signed off, they were produced, and it was only when the models reached Cavalex in the UK that they discovered that the factory had assembled them wrong. So they've had to be remanufactured, and that, if you're wondering, is the reason. It's completely beyond their control, nothing to do with Cavalex. It's that the factory has unfortunately let them down. And
this is going to happen more and more often because we're still, and I say this for every manufacturer, we're still seeing the end result of COVID. So there's still a backlog of stuff. So factories are now hurrying to try and produce stuff, and they're making mistakes.
Also, not only that, they've presumably had a lot of new staff churn over, and it means that people. So we saw that with some of the Hellion models, the 07009, the factory weathered Tops Blue version. Somebody in the factory on the assembly line had actually glued the push fit detailing that you have to remove to get into it to DCC fit it, thus rendering it impossible to DCC fit the Loco without actually destroying the detail.
Wow.
So unfortunately, it is a thing. So they are being remanufactured, although I believe that Trains for You and KMS Railtech have taken on a number of the models, which I think were possibly for them in the first place, and have reassembled the models as is, which is quite labour intensive.
Yeah.
So there are some available with custom weathering, and that is because Trains for You and KMS Railtech have essentially taken on the job of repairing the incorrect assembly. And I believe that the reason that Cavalex couldn't do that themselves, apart from the cost and the manpower, is because it would damage the finish to actually remove and reassemble the parts. Now, if the wagons are getting heavy weathering, then that actually hides any problems with damage to the finish. Excuse me, but for all the others in the range, it's not actually possible.
George also has a good point. The drought in China is affecting factory production as well now. Basically, it's just hammer on. Everything's been hammering all of these factories.
So then, if there's droughts everywhere in the world, where's the water gone?
It's just not raining in the places that they need it to get anything to come in.
It appears to be raining in Pakistan a lot, though. They've had a lot of rain. They've had floods.
Yeah.
We've not done too bad here. We did have the really hot weather.
Yes.
They
we have reservoirs.
But they did declare a drought in the south. But actually, at the point that they started declaring a drought, we started getting some rain. Now, down south, they've had flash floods. But up here in the north, it's been a little bit more spread out. So actually, we haven't had any floods either. We actually had rain today as well.
We had rain all last night, my goodness.
James Petts, good evening to you. I do approve. Flymo Chairman says Nicholas Parsons was quite an adept entertainer and actor too. Yeah. He provided some of the voices for Four Feather Falls.
He was the sheriff.
Yeah. Doing a quite a credible American accent.
Yeah, I would. If they hadn't told me it was him, I would not have guessed.
Yeah. Andy Brooks, good evening to you. We are very well and glad to see you in. Ben Tullett says, I've been to Birmingham to see the Commonwealth Games Bull. I was really surprised that the original Midlands Metro Birmingham station at Snow Hill now resembles a dystopian abandoned station. Well, Birmingham Snow Hill was destroyed in the early 1970s as part of the BR let's just destroy the railways sort of thing. But it has since been reinstated, but it's because the original station was completely swept away, it's basically bus shelters on platforms. Because they destroyed the station, closed the line, and the line for a while terminated at Moore Street Station. It's the only reason it would seem that Moore Street Station actually survived.
I did have some interesting news about Birmingham.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure it's Birmingham. Someone's made a statue, that's a temporary statue to go out in Birmingham, of a photograph that was a meme on Twitter in a few places.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, 4 guys in jeans. And it's hilarious. It's just 4 random lads on a night out.
Okay.
And someone made a statue of it. And the statue, according to the artist, is purposefully done to absolutely rip the piss out of all of those supposed high-class artists who make atrocious statues that look nothing like the people that they're supposed to be. Huh? So none of the people in this thing look right, and it's hilarious.
Simon Train's Mother Railway Showcase says 1972 Birmingham Snow Hill closed. 1970s was the largest unstaffed station at one point. And Mike Finch says hello everyone, just arrived.
A Monday clubber is never late, Frodo Baggins, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
Leicester Station and TMD says Acura Scale HAA or Cavalex HAA. From what I've seen, actually, the Cavalex HA8 is very, very good. And it's one of the things that with long lead times on these, it's inevitable that some of these potentially very popular models will get duplicated. Now, we've seen that happen now with the Class 37, where Bachmann completely retooled theirs and slipped it out. Like literally a case of, we've done a retooled 37. Here it is for sale. And I think part of that was that they took a decision that there was no sense in announcing it earlier. Accurascale were obviously working on theirs, and they thought the best thing possible was quite simply to bring it out.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, it is an exceptionally good model, out of the same mould as their 47. Now,
I actually say this is good for the model community. That if you're making a model because there's a gap in the market, that's great. But if you're making a model because you're already making it and you can do it the best you can, that's great too. Let people have choice.
but I mean, with the HAA, they were a very numerous wagon, and the Hornby wagon has been on the market for quite some time, does have some deficiencies, and is very expensive for what it is. So both the Cavalex and the Accurascale wagons are actually cheaper than the older Hornby wagon. Make of that what you will. But it was an open goal, the HAA series of wagons, and one of the things that certainly Accurascale have done is that they've made options in the tooling to represent the whole family. The HAA, HBA, HCA, HDA, HMA, the CDA, and also the MFA, which I think, oh no, MHA, which is the coalfish which reused the chassis. No, Dongus Model Railway didn't think the Cavalex one was cheaper than the Hornby one, I believe, but it's about £10 a pack more expensive on the 3-packs than the Accurascale ones. But I was very impressed with the Cavalex pre-production model. They had it on display at Rails of Sheffield, and it has a lot of weight to it, a lot of low down weight. I was very, very impressed. But it was overshadowed in some respects by another model that Cavalex had on their stand. They had an engineering prototype, functioning engineering prototype of the Class 56, and it was a really detailed model, and they have of course tooled up to be able to replicate all bar one member of the class, and the one that they can't replicate, it was he did tell me what the difference was, but it was very non-standard, something to do I think with the bogies, but all of the others they can do accurately. There's a lot of detail differences, and they were showing it with a sound file, and it uses the Hall effect sensors, which are part of the NMRA 21-pin decoder standard. If you've ever wondered what all the pins do, there's not just unused pins for the giggles of it. They all actually have a purpose when you delve through the specs, and some of them are things like Hall sensors, which they are a sensor that detects magnetic field strength, and these can be used to trigger an event in the decoder programming. So effectively, when the Hall sensor detects the change to the required parameter, and you can set that in CVs, it will trigger something else, in this case the flange squeal. So the Hall sensors are on the bogies, and as it goes around the curved track, the bogies move, and a tiny magnet changes its position relative to the sensor, and that is what triggers the flange squeal. So you don't actually have to press any of the function keys. I'm guessing that basically you can still manually play the flange squeal, but it automatically plays.
That
so
was really clever. Is that a new technology, or have they managed to wangle into DCC, or is
No,
it something that DCC was always able to do?
DCC was always able to do it, at least in the specs. As to whether most decoders support it, that's a different matter.
Right.
Not all decoders that are on a 21-pin interface make use of all of the functionality of a 21-pin interface. So that's why you see different numbers of auxiliary function outputs.
Right.
So, you can get 4 function decoders. Well, they're obviously not using 2 of the pins on that 21-pin interface. But there's also, I can't remember how many, I think it's 2 hall sensors are available. And this is using one of the hall sensors. And I just thought it was really, really good. And as Skipsy Trains also says, the flange squeal on the 56 was very impressive.
It does sound impressive.
There we are. 57305 Northern Princess says, might be 56041 as she had class 58 bogies. That sounds right. I think it was something to do with why they can't model it, because they haven't tooled up 58 bogies.
Yes, didn't one of them, Skipsy, say that there was one that they had a different bogey and they weren't doing that one?
Yeah. Right, going back to Four Feather Falls, Leslie Gilpin Railway says Four Feather Falls was the first Jerry Anderson I remember watching. I don't think the folks allowed me enough TV time.
Well, let's just face it. If they hadn't, if they'd given you more TV time, you could have turned into Jenny, and then no one wants that.
Interesting, actually. Don Gates Model Railways says the Hall effect sensors were actually expected to be used to monitor the movement of steam loco wheels to synchronize chuffs.
Oh.
Interesting. Although they, as far as I'm aware, they're doing it through back EMF instead, thus not needing to add the sensors. But it's nice to see that Cavalex have found another use for these. So I'm also told that the Class 31 from a Cura scale will also feature the same thing. So whichever one of either the Acura Scale 31 or the Cavalex 56 reaches the market first, as far as I'm aware, will be the first ready-to-run locomotive in the UK market at least that make use of the hall sensors to do the flange squeal.
Cool.
But we've talked a lot about the Cavalex models. We also had DCC concepts there, and we did sit down with Richard Brighton and talk a little bit about the new layout lighting range that they've introduced, making full use of the tried and tested Alpha Mimic board to allow DCC controlled building lighting. So you can literally just turn them on and off on the auxiliary functions, or not auxiliary functions, on the accessory functions. I had to think a moment there.
Wow.
Not very well. I've got a bit of a brain fog going.
Yeah, we aren't exactly 100% today.
No,
we're not firing on all
have some of
cylinders.
that if
That's
you want.
brilliant. Tim's Model Railway says, are you still wanting a big boy, Jenny? Wow.
Ooh. Actually, yeah, one of these days, the trouble is expense. I would love a big boy, Union Pacific big boy type locomotive. And certainly it'd be nice to see one going round on Weir Yard. But it's just simply the cost, to be honest with you. Very, very expensive.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love a big boy.
Hey.
I can almost hear Richard Brighton spitting his tea out, going. Yes. Oh, matron.
We've got a question here from Tim Maslin saying, are you going to get the new models that you're talking about?
Well, the Class 56 from. I would actually wouldn't mind having a good close look at the Class 56. I will see whether they'll lend me a if they want to lend me one of the 56s for review. Flymo Chairman One says, Tim is asking if you still want a UP big boy locomotive. I would love one, to be honest. I really would love one. So yes, I do still want one. But as I said before, it's a cost thing. And Peter Jackson Cheadle Heath says, any news on the PAL brick wagon? No, I completely forgot to ask Rails whilst I was there all day, and I forgot to ask. So I forgot to ask where they're up to in terms of sales, but it is still, as far as I'm aware, available to order. I've not been told that it isn't. You'll see a representation of it in the top left of your screen, and there is a link in the description box down below. Mark Wilson says, Piggly Wiggly trucks feature on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Oh, I must look out for them. Piggly Wiggly. That's something else I want, the Piggly Wigglies.
I'm ordering you one for Christmas.
Oh, Sarah Davies says, oh yeah, and I managed to find one of the round toys with perch on eBay a few years ago. Richard Swiderski says, just finished watching UFO, watching Space 1999 now. Do you think, looking back with hindsight, that was not a good name for it? This is being a pain in the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, I do love that graphic that was going around on Facebook and Twitter a while back. Think. You look at all of these old sci-fis from the 50s and it's like, it is the year 2004 and mankind is exploring the far reaches of the galaxy.
And all you can think is, no it isn't.
Yeah, so you just look at it and think, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry 1950s sci-fi. You had such high hopes for us.
Yes, yes.
Patrick Furlong says, is Covered Monkey's stream tonight cancelled? Yes, I feel like death, which is why I'm hardly getting involved. Basically, I'm suffering from heat exhaustion combined with the fact that we've been out and seen a lot of people over the last few weeks doing various events. And I've picked up quite a nasty bug. It's just one of those things.
So, where are we? Tim Maslin asks, is that your Class 08 Shunter collection down below on the right? That is, well, you'll just see my hand hovering into view there behind the chat. That is my collection, or part of it actually, it's not the whole collection. So, there's more than just Class 8s there, there's also a whole bunch of Class 3 Shunters, and a single Class 5. And I think we've got a Class 9 as well. Yeah, so that one there, you can't really see it on this stream. That's my one and only Class 09. But then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 Class 8s there. There is another Class 8 if we go to this angle. If we go to this angle, there we go. So there's another one there.
That is a very nice and bright Class 8.
It's actually Porter Felixstowe Shunter. They're the one that they bought, and it's called Captain Nathaniel Darrell, and it's 08484. There's a little niggly voice in the back of my head which says that that's the one I stood next to at the National Railway Museum at Shildon.
Quite possibly.
But I could be wrong on that.
Quite possibly.
And then looking up there, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 more up there. So there's quite a lot of Class 8s. I do like my Class 8s. I nearly bought one at Rails of Sheffield, actually. They had 08818, which sounds like a Saturday morning kids TV.
811
8181.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember watching it when it was 01.
0181.
Yeah, but it was before the dialing code changed. So basically the dialing code for London was 01.
Right.
And then it became 081 because it was also 071, and then it became 0181 and 0171.
Yeah.
And then it became 0207 and 0208. Oh god. I'm talking telephone numbers here, so let us move quickly on. Stevie Film says, I did some work for the new Captain Scarlet series. Ooh. George asks, who does the best Gronk /08 model? Now, this is a complicated answer. So, in 00, I would rate the Hornby model as being slightly better than the Bachmann model, but the Bachmann model now offers better value for money by a long way. So I would only consider buying brand new the Bachmann model, simply because I think that the Hornby model does not offer enough extra value for money for the increased cost. Excuse me. However, when you go up to O gauge, the Daypole Class 8 shunter, of which I have one, is incredibly good. So yeah, it depends on scale. For O gauge, Daypole, hands down. For double O, the Hornby model is better in terms of finesse. Not by a huge amount. The Bachmann model is still very, very good, but the Bachmann model is much better value for money. Right, Michael Gray says 08911 at Shildon, saw it yesterday. This was quite some time ago. I've got a little memory. We did have the photo on the...
Shall I go and check? Go
and check what number is on the Class 8. I think it was 08484. Which would make it that one. H. Walker Steam and Heritage Rail Vids says, hit the like button, people. Absolutely. Don't forget to
yes, remember to hit it so it goes like this.
Yeah, tickle the like button and do please share the stream to social media. Now, in terms of what's got... Oh, no, I was talking about... let's go back to yeah, of course. AD Pullen. Thank you so much for reminding me. It was definitely the news. In the news, Rapido are doing the J70 in O gauge. This will be their first O gauge model, and in addition to that, they are re-releasing the Double O model, which was originally done as a special for commission for Model Rail magazine. Rapido are doing in their main range. The J70, but in Great Eastern Railway livery, along with the Wisbech and Upwell coaches in appropriate liveries. Right. Sarah Davis, yes, I do sound like I'm talking telephone numbers. Somebody mentioned the Lima ones. Valley's 56XX, yes, Wren and Lima Gronks are great value if your pockets aren't deep. I personally would prefer the Wren model, which actually traces its heritage back to Hornby 00. I do have a Hornby 00 Class 8, and they correctly modelled the outside frames from new. And then Hornby, well, as then Triang, produced what is still in their range as their Railroad Class 8, and the chassis is garbage. And one does wonder, I think they did just so they could use the same chassis between all the models, because it's actually their Ginty chassis. But Tim Maslin says, I was going to ask which Class 08 you would recommend, but you answered another guy. That was handy. And Worthington Model Railway says, I recently found a brass Class 08 in the HO at a junk shop here in the US.
Ooh, a brass class.
Of course, it must be remembered... Oh, thank you. It must be remembered that the Class 8 shunter
was amazing and the best, and it should be worshipped.
And yes, it was Captain Nathaniel Darfel, but in rail blue by the look of this, although it could well have been that livery. Was that something being naughty? I thought I heard the sound. Yeah, so it was me at Shildon a number of years ago, and I was right. You were wrong.
I didn't say anything.
Right. So there is the photograph of me next to 08484 at Shildon. I have no idea why.
Doesn't she look so happy?
Yeah, I have no idea why it was at Shildon. It's a bit of a long way for it to be from Port of Felixstowe. I don't know if there was an event or something.
Or it got lost.
No, it wouldn't have gone there under its own power. But,
or they'd sent a letter using cut-out pieces from the paper. We have your gronk.
Yeah. Somebody's asked about is the TARDIS on the layout. Actually, yeah, there's two TARDISes, and they are both on the layout, and neither of them have been spotted yet. So, you're just going to have to keep looking. James Pett suggests it was Jennifer at Shildon with the candlestick. And Skipsy Trains reminds us, of course, new announcement, the E1 in Southern Olive Green as number 2 Yarmouth, which is the livery this loco will carry when its current overhaul is complete. Limited edition for the Isle of Wight Steam Railway.
Very cool.
Do like a good Irish lolly when it's really hot.
Yes.
Worthington Model Railway says, I'll post a couple of pics on the Facebook page. It's in a weird blue livery.
Cool.
I'd love to see that, actually. Really interesting. I mean, hopefully you got it at a good price. But yes, the Class 8 Shunter. English Electric also built some for export to Victoria State Railways in Australia. Had some 5'3" gauge. But then the rail company that I could never pronounce, NS, something like Nordisch Spielspul, I don't think that's how it's pronounced. Is actually they had a load as well, and you can actually find one of the Dutch Gronks at Preston, which was right by the Dick Care Works where I think it was built. Sarah Davis asks, is that the TARDIS on top of the water tower? No, it's not. That's actually a wooden post, which I didn't dare remove in case it was structural.
Yes, it's a very thin post, but we don't dare move it just in case.
Yes, it could have been some kind of load-bearing sticker event.
Yes, it's load-bearing balsa wood.
Wyvern Model Railway says, is that the TARDIS? Oh, sorry, is that a TARDIS next to engine sheds? Yes, finally. So let's have a look. There is the TARDIS.
How did he spot that?
Because I gave a clue and then changed the view. 57305 Northern Princess says, I'm going to make a layout for my bedroom just for J70s set during World War II with an Avro Lancaster flying over.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, well, we've got the Spitfire flying over the... let's see if I can find it. Is that the right view? No, that's looking the wrong way. So,
that's the one middle. Hopefully this is going to work and not crash.
Oh, you don't get to see the Spitfire.
The Spitfire is... Right, if my hand is here, the Spitfire is there. I'm practically touching it there.
So, basically, what was I going to say?
Something about Avro Lancaster?
Dongit's Model Railway says that would be NS as in Nederlandse Spoorwegen as opposed to NS as in Norfolk Southern. Ginty Steam says, hello everyone. Big hello to you. Are you late? Are you late? Are you?
He didn't say he was late. He just said he just said hello. Nick,
you've
got Nick at Blackton High Level. 2 Gronks have been recently written off at Whitmore's due to various fails. No. Gronks don't fail. Standards just change around them.
I hope they're not just going to be cut up for scrap. I mean, I'm assuming that... I mean, that's unusual unless they broke them. Did they break them somehow with some kind of serious accident or... Wyvern Model Railway suggests the other TARDIS was at the bottom right of screen 2 back. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. I'll give you a clue.
Just because something's blue and square doesn't mean it's a TARDIS.
I'll give you a clue. The other TARDIS has been on the screen, on and off, for a very long time. In fact, many, many weeks, and nobody has actually spotted it.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Rogerson says, Jenny, do you have any tips on blending the edges of country roads into scenery, like grassy verges and such? What I tend to do is, I would lay the road first, and then do the static grass and vegetation, and what you'll find is the road will then sort of get naturally blended in. That would be my recommendation. Dongit's Model Railway suggests it could have been serious rust. But again, serious rust isn't the handicap it used to be. I mean, they've restored some Barry hulks from some really, really bad condition. Ruben Ashwell says, Gronk's getting scrapped. I'm sure there were ones that wanted to scrap steam engines and Thomas the Tank Engine. Yes, Dirty Diesel was a Class 8. Oh, interesting. Nick at Bletchton High Level says the gear failed on one and the conrods was severely bent on one side. However, both of those I think you could probably salvage from other Gronks. You'd have thought from the 2 Gronks you'd be able to make one that worked.
Wolf the Productions comes to the rescue. Looks like the other TARDIS has been in the military yard again.
Yes.
The Doctor has been visiting units.
So,
If I just lean in and...
so there you are. You did have to look quite hard, but has been found. Right. But Flammo Chairman 1, no, it does look on there quite blue, but it isn't the TARDIS. But, so the second TARDIS has now been spotted. Right, sorry, I'm enjoying my ice cream. No, my lolly. Too much.
Serious Rust sounds like a hacker name. Yes, like Zero Cool or Crash Override.
That is so 90s.
Yeah, the film Hackers is amazing and I love it.
Right. Ralph Giles says, do you have any Class 20 diesels? If so, would you run some? Just on the left of that image, you will see a Class 20 climbing the incline with a rake of cove hops.
There you go.
So yes, he's been running all this time. I anticipated your request. And that's actually got a full sound suite on it.
Wow.
So there we go. Nick at Bletchton High Level says, he's the big lad with the ginger top, haha. Oh, I think they're coming in halfway through. Oh, is that a reference to Hackers? Valley's 56XX says, I'm just going to the fridge to get a fab lovely.
Hey,
Well,
fair.
F-A-B!
Oh my god, the references in Hackers are so out of date now. Still a cool film and the soundtrack. Yeah, some of the references are still funny though. It's got a 56 BPS modem. So, yes, it's an antique.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest with you, when he's reciting the stats for that laptop that, what's her name, Acid Burn has, they were actually really high spec for the time. So Acid had a very, very tripped out laptop. Just, that's the problem with 90s technology. It was moving so fast that by the time the film came out in the UK, it was out of date.
Yeah, I remember that in the 90s. You'd buy a top-of-the-line computer and within a couple of months, it was in need of upgrade. It was just ridiculous.
The Weird Al song, All About the Pensions, where it says, you've had your laptop for over a week, throw that junk away, man, it's an antique.
Yeah. Hot Dog Pilot 63 says, Jenny, are Pico making more catenary? I didn't ask. And I now remember that I said I would try and remember to ask, but I forgot.
You didn't. We did ask about some of their track that was being asked for, and they came out with a very good answer. He would take it back, but if you email them at their inquiries desk on their website, they will look into it. They won't guarantee anything, but they will look into it.
Yes,
so that's the best way to do it.
Because we did also have Steve Haynes from Pico on the Rails live stream with us.
Yeah.
We did an interview. It was really great to sit down and talk with Steve. I've talked with him a lot on email, met him a couple of times at shows, but it was really great for the first time to be able to sit down and actually have Steve on the Monday Club Big Saturday tour. And we did talk about production. Obviously, COVID has affected them a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was a double whammy, basically. Social distancing, which meant that they didn't have the space for making a lot of stuff that they did before. But then also massively increased demand. But they are working really hard to increase production. And the stuff is coming through. They had examples of all of their bullhead track range on display, and they really did look good. And in fact, actually, they've very, very kindly given me one of the bullhead points to do a review on, which I will be doing at some point. We've also got a full little goodie bag of TT stuff. So this is the new 1 to 120 range. And they were at pains to remind us that actually this is a proper scale, without any of the compromises that afflict N-gauge or 00. The TT range has been designed from the ground up to be completely scale. I've got a load of tracks and points and some kits for buildings and stuff, and I'm going to be having a go at making a little TT diorama.
That sounds interesting.
I'm looking forward to it, but certainly this is nothing to do with the Triang TT of the 1960s, which was afflicted with a lot of compromises in the same way that the 00 specs originally had, because they couldn't get the motor small enough. The new TT is completely different. I believe the original Triang TT was something like, it was quite a different scale, even though it notionally ran on the 3mm to the foot basis. They were wrong, very wrong. Right. Dongit's Model Railway asks, what models are available for it? Well, at the moment, they've got the left and right points, the flexi track. There's a whole range of buildings. These are the laser cut wood kits. I'm really looking forward to trying out some of these. And then in addition, Hellion have announced the Class 33 diesel, some wagons. So there is very quickly going to build a full set of stuff to be able to work in this scale. And hopefully more manufacturers will get on board and start to support it. It's a bit like 009. For a long time, Pico made the 009 track, but there wasn't really anything ready to run. And then they started introducing the wagons. Hellion got on board with the 262 Manning Wardles. And then Bachmann too dived into the... Alright, so it's decided to mess us about on that camera. We've lost the camera.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on there, which is really irritating.
I have to admit that you're losing me as well if the illness is starting to take over again.
I'm struggling as well, so we may need to call this early. Not yet, but Stephen Cameron says original TT was 1 to 96 scale. Right, so this new stuff is 1 to 120. Mark Wilson says, I'm not sure to try TT, or I might have a go at USA HO. I would love to do a little HO model layout. I love a lot of the US scene, some of the little backwater short lines, some of the industrial ones as well. They still have trains that will run straight down the centre of the high street with spurs leading off into industrial concerns, and you'll have like an SD7 or a GP40 with a single boxcar or a single hopper shunting in and out of there, and it's just so great to see. Oh, Vic Freaks says Class 33. I thought Hellion were making a Class 31. You're probably right. William says, good evening, Jenny. I was wondering what you think is the best overall steam shunter. Oh, now, best overall steam shunter. Oh, I really like the W4 Peckett. The reason I'm looking at that is because that's where all my steam shunters are. I really like the W4 Peckett. I also like the ex-Lancashire and Yorkshire Pug. It's in the Hornby range, but it is quite an old model, but I do have a big soft spot for it. I like the Daypole Rails Terrier as well. Really lovely model, really packed with features. The Andrew Barclay from Hattons as well, very, very good. Very difficult to actually pick. Flymo Chairman 1, absolutely on message. So hit the bell and choose all for notifications. It's free. Just give the notifications a watch. Keep an eye on your browser bell for more videos as Jenny puts them up. Absolutely. And don't forget as well that you can also head on over to Patreon and help support the channel to keep making the videos that you want to see. Andy Friars Junction says, as you are only in Bolton, are you going to the Lee Model Railway exhibition at Lee Sports Village 10th and 11th of September? I believe that I'm already doing an event that weekend, but I'm not quite sure. I need to check my diary. I tend to be really, really busy these days, it must be said.
We
Ginty
don't
Steve,
get a chance to breathe, never mind...
I don't even get any time off for good behaviour, it must be said.
Well, maybe if you tried some good behaviour, you might get some time off.
No, because there's an open goal there, just kicking you in the bottom. Ginty Steam, of course, yes, the Ginty is a good steam shunter. Dominic Z, our Kickline correspondent, says, Jenny, the Bandai Blocks Kickline polybags were there to expand your Kickline world. There you go. But yeah, anyway, so we're talking with Steve Haynes. We did ask him about the dropping of the SL44 expansion joint from the range. Now, what Steve said is that nothing ever truly gets fully dropped from the range, but the tooling for the SL44 expansion joint was worn out, and they didn't think that the sales were there to justify the expenditure for new tooling. I'm not sure how long they've had it in the range, but certainly if the tooling's worn out, it does mean that they've made an awful lot of them. But he says never say never, and as the Cupboard Monkey mentioned earlier on, the best thing to do if there's an item that you really want to see or you want to see reappear is actually to
Get in touch.
Get in touch with an email to, what was it, info@pico.
It's on their
.co.
website, like inquiries or contact us or something like that. That is your best bet. That's what they suggest to do. They do read them. The answer
Yes.
can't always be yes, of course, but they will get a look in.
So that's really the best way of expressing interest. And if they, if a lot of people get in touch and say, we want to see this reappear in the range, then maybe somebody will sit down and go, you know what, I think maybe there is demand for this. So they do read all the emails. So with some of the other things as well that Pico had on display was the lovely little diorama, and a big shout out to Callum Wilcox. You may also know him on YouTube as SDJR7F88, and that was the little diorama that he built in Railway Modeler, showing off the water troughs and showing some of the really great products there as well. We also let's have a look. Right, Andy Foster said, I'm sure Jenny will take note of that. Oh, he said, I asked as I am the exhibition manager. Oh, again, it's simply down to time. I think I'm already committed to doing filming on that weekend elsewhere, so I may well be. I'm trying to remember. I'm supposed to be going to the Severn Valley Railway at some point soon, so I must check that out and make sure I don't miss it. It's got hotels booked and everything. But Raymond Legg says worn out track tooling is why Fleischmann quit HO and gave it all to Roco, which is also owned by Model Eisenbahn GmbH. Patrick Furlong says, did you or Cupboard Monkey see my messages for her? I didn't. I didn't.
Sorry, what?
Patrick Furlong's actually asking if you got his message.
My phone is like at 1% battery. I haven't seen a message.
Sorry, no.
I'm sorry. I am rapidly losing
Cupboard
the
Monkey
ability to
is-
stay upright.
Let's get some air on you.
It's not that. I'm just not well.
We are struggling, actually. Simon Trains Model Railway Showcase says Severn Valley Railway not during their autumn steam gala. No, I might be actually shadowing a manufacturer and be there shadowing them as they are doing some reconnaissance about potential future models, perhaps. David Scott says 56XX, it's 57XX 060 Pannier on the Great Western, 060 Ginty on the LMS, Not sure of the company. So, yeah, the 57XX pannier is also a great little workhorse. We were talking about steam shunters. I do like my 57XX panniers. I do have a couple, although none of them in BR or Great Western Railway liveries, it must be said. I've got the Stevenson Clark Blue version, and I've got the London Underground, London Transport version. Patrick Furlong has reposted.
What's it says?
No, he's just reposted it. Patrick Furlong says to replace the one wrecked by my kitten, Amelia.
Okay.
Oh, it says, tell Cupboard Monkey I managed to get a replacement computer monitor from a local charity shop today for £8. That's pretty good going.
Well done. Oh, yes. His cat climbed on his computer desk in his lab and knocked a computer over.
Oh, that's not good. Right, we also chatted with Richard Brighton from DCC Concepts. I did start this story, but I got distracted. I was like, oh, shiny squirrel. And we talked about the layout lighting system. You might remember on Friday I did a video on that. It's gone down really, really well. Really impressed with the system using the tried and tested Alpha Mimic boards, which already know from their panel LED system and also their ground signals. And what that means is that you can be assured it works perfectly first time, every time. Really easy to set up. Tried and tested with the plugs that just plug in using the full Alpha Mimic system. So it was really, really great to, as always, catch up with Richard Brighton from DCC Concepts. We also talked a little bit about some of their other products, including the ballast, the range of Legacy track as well. If you want a bullhead track, they've got their high nickel content Legacy track. We did do a review on that as well. Ruben Ashwell asks, was it a Billy's replacement computer monitor, Patrick? No, because it would just shout at you if it was. Right, let's try another camera and see, are these breaking yet? Oh, yeah, there we go. So we've got the tunnel cam. Let's enjoy some trains in the countryside. Patrick says, though, no, Billy refused to sell to me. Oh, that's a bit mean of Billy. Valley's 56XX says, I missed one on a second-hand site for 110 because I hoed and hummed about it and still a bit steep. Oh, that's a response to Graham Smith. I'm just scanning back. I think it's gone off the top. I can hear the Cupboard Monkey. Why don't you go downstairs and lie in bed and prepare a Rockford files for after I'm done?
If I could move, if I thought I could move without hurting myself, I would.
Okay, well, so the Cupboard Monkey's not too well.
This is why I cancelled my streams. There's no way I could do it. It would be watching someone fail at everything. And I'm sorry, but I do that enough already.
That's a shame. It's a shame. So, I'm trying to think who else we interviewed. We also spoke to John Barber.
John Barber.
Yeah.
Skipsy Trains, Mrs. Skipsy.
Yes.
You interviewed the guy from Pico.
Yes.
One of the guys from Wales who knows all his stuff about Star Wars and other
Oh God, yeah. If you catch the end of part 2 of the live stream from Rails, there's a guy there who really knows his stuff about collectibles, what's likely to become valuable and why. Really interesting conversation. And also surprised me how much I knew about things, because I knew that Kenner was the company that first made them, the fact that they kind of phoned in their performance for the first Christmas, and there were...
It wasn't even about phone in performance. It took so long to get the models correct that they missed the deadline, and that's how it is.
But they were selling boxes with IOUs in.
Yeah, and you know why they did that? Because
they had to have
the knockoffs were coming in thick and fast, so they had to be on the shelf to show the official stuff. The other guy you talked to, another guy from Rails,
yes,
talking about setting up the event.
Yes.
Your friend from Pico.
Yes.
And
Richard Brighton from DCC Concepts.
Richard Brighton from DCC Concepts.
We had the Cavalex boys as well. But talking with
10 people that you talked to at least.
we did, yeah, and it was great to have a chat with John Barber. It was actually he was fashionably late to his own event. I'm surprised that Gandalf didn't have something to say about that.
Gandalf would have if he'd realised that he was late.
Yeah, very late.
I think you'll find John Barber is never late, Frodo Baggins, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks Gandalf. Yeah, thanks for clearing that up. But it was great to talk to John as well about plans for the business, about just how well things are going, and he's very, very busy, but certainly it's exciting times with Rails, and they've got some plans as well to effectively expand the shop. At the moment, they're turning what used to be the stock room for the shop into another part of the shop, and this will expand the amount of real estate shelf space that they've got to actually display products. And I think the idea is, one of the things that John did talk about was that he wants to be able to have the entire Pico and affiliates range in stock.
That would be cool.
And that is a huge range to actually say, well, okay, we'll just have it all there on the shelf. And I can't think of any other retailer who actually does that, to have the full range of Pico, Wills, Slaters, Parkside Dundas, all of these different kits, and all the different scales and gauges as well. So you're looking at having HO with the code 83 range, 00, also HOM, 009, both different types of track that they do, and also the TT range, the complete TT range. They do O gauge, SM32, gauge 1, G scale. There are so many different scales and gauges. O16.5 is another one. There's a lot of different scales and gauges that Pico do, and it'd be really interesting to see them do all of that. John actually also showed me around the latest acquisition to the Rails real estate, which is the shop next door.
Is that where you disappeared to when I was trying to find you?
Yeah, John showed me into, if you remember the big fire in the premises adjacent, well, after all that, John Barber was actually fortunate enough to be able to purchase it and has refurbished it. He was thinking of renting it out, but is now quite keen on the idea of actually using it as another extension to the Rails shop front, which is really interesting. It looks quite nice inside now. It's still under construction, but certainly well on the way, and it would give another shop the kind of size of the Emporium, but alongside. And there's also plans to turn some of the now redundant buildings behind Rails and what sometimes gets referred to as the Rails Village. He's talking about having a place called the Rails Outback and having a 2-story building that used to be their mail order facility. That's now moved to the off-site large facility in Dronfield. And what used to be used for that, there's talk to turn that into Rails Outback, have an open day once a month where it's accessible, but then also by appointment only, and have all of the larger scale stuff there, things like LGB, all on display and available to browse and peruse there. And I think it's a great idea. I think that Rails have something really special with that courtyarded area behind.
Yeah.
And they could do a huge amount. They've got a lovely refreshment room, which was actually where we were based when we were doing the live stream. And I did actually suggest to him that actually that could be the other half crash, and they could actually have a little cafe there, and really go a long way towards doing what John has talked about, which is making Rails a destination, where it's the place that you go for the day.
I'm going to say, as an addition to that, there's a big part of this model scene that people love, but always feel a little nervous about trying. Soldering, making your own stuff, painting and decorating your stuff. But how big a community has Games Workshop made? out of their policy of, come on in, give it a try.
Yeah, and actually, as you were saying that, I was thinking that is something that maybe that might be worth them considering. If you ever go into a games workshop, they really do embrace this kind of the craft side of it, the painting, the figures, as much as playing the games. And wouldn't it be nice if they had the means to have tuition in various things?
Yeah.
You mentioned soldering, but also a lot of scenery building, and maybe have it whereby people can bring down a module of something they're working on, and be instructed in the best way of using the products, and also being able to pick up the products there as they work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Within Model Railway says, I haven't ordered from Hornby's 2022 catalogue as I'm still waiting for items ordered from the 2020 catalogue. There is a lot of stuff being a while to come through.
We're going to see that for at least another year, I think. Although the global recession that is obviously coming as the result of COVID will slow down production. So we might catch up.
Jeffrey Kite says, hi all, sorry I'm late.
A Monday clubber is never late, Frodo Baggins, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Thanks, Gandalf.
You're welcome.
Sarah Davis suggests we can call it the Train Widowers Room at Rails. And I think there's because they've got the Rails Emporium, and I actually think that one of the things that John actually talked about with this new shop is having almost like a Rails, the vault at Rails, and it would be all of the Hornby 00, Trix, Triang, Hornby O-Gauge, the older stuff, the collectible stuff. And I think that might actually be really, really good to have, as well as the Rails Outback. And there's definitely so much that he could do there. Mark Johnson says, hi Jenny and Zoe, I've just started a YouTube channel for my layout and was wondering if it was okay for Flymo Chairman 1 to put a link of it up. It's called Stanover Model Railway. Absolutely, I'm absolutely happy about and putting that up.
Well, you've got to remember with the Monday Club, this is your virtual online model railway club.
Yeah.
So we're very much happy that, I'm working on this project, come and have a look. Yeah, put it, as long as you're not spamming the link every few minutes.
And that's why we've
fine.
got the Facebook group as well. I know some other YouTube channels don't even acknowledge the existence of other YouTube channels, but that's not what we're about.
No.
This is about community building.
Yeah.
So, Ham Shackleton says it would be good if you could buy the kits from Rails and they show and help you build and decorate it.
Yes,
and
that's
definitely
that's kind of what I was on about with the Warcraft stuff, Warhammer even.
And I think that if they have a themed weekend, maybe if they have somebody say from Pico up for a weekend, talking people through with stuff, but also have some guys from Backman in for a weekend, showing how to do scenery technique. Anybody who's seen Backman at the any of the shows will remember they've got the demonstrations there where they show you how to use a lot of the Woodland Scenics products. And I think that might be something really, really good. And I feel like I need to drop John an email after this and suggest some of these to him.
Yeah.
Dongit's Model Railway says, the reason I keep coming back is because people keep sending videos in. There's always something I can learn from. Absolutely. I don't know. Are we able to show any videos today?
I feel like death warmed up, but I can try.
Let's try and do... Have we actually had many sent in?
I don't know. I haven't been...
So,
to be honest with you, the amount of work we've been doing, I just haven't been able to keep up with my emails.
Absolutely right. So, whilst the Cupboard Monkey
It's got to the point where actually, given our workload, I'm thinking of dropping out from being a school governor because I just can't dedicate the time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I do completely understand.
Yeah.
Now, whilst the Cupboard Monkey is sorting that out, what we're going to do now is I just want to talk you through what have we got running on Wareyard tonight. Well, you'll see the all-new Daypole 78XX Manor, Fringford Manor I think it is, in GWR green, is running around and will be coming into view shortly. We did a full review on this last Wednesday. It's gone down really, really well, and certainly I was quite honoured and touched when, whilst I was at Rails, somebody was buying a manor at the counter. They turned around, double-took me and went, "I'm buying this because of your review. I really liked your review, so thanks to that, I'm buying the model."
Wow.
And I always find it very, very humbling that people do listen to me.
You come back with such a grin on your face when people say that, because we love to do the show.
Oh, absolutely.
There isn't a huge amount of physical interaction where it becomes real in your head. You know what you mean? You know what I mean? It's great to talk to people online, but when someone's there in front of you saying, "Oh, I watched your show," it's like, wow, it's not just going out into the void.
Yeah. So really gratifying. I met a lot of Monday clubbers there, and a lot of people are quite nervous about being on camera. Although if you look at the second camera that was showing the rummage box area, you do catch a lot of Monday clubbers out there who maybe didn't want to venture in and a bit camera shy.
Yeah.
Big
Which
hello
is fine.
to the Angel of Crew. Great to see you in. Tom L says, any thoughts on Revolution's Class 59? This is the N-Gauge one. They've got the 59.0, is it? And the 59.2. Yes, I did have a chat with Revolution, and they did say they would come on for the interview, but didn't in the end.
I think, to be honest with you,
he was on his own,
Yeah.
And that meant it was very difficult.
every
for him
time I went over to talk to him and invite him over, he was stuck talking to someone, and it's like, I'm not going to push in and try and be the big I am. Like, come on, we did this. So I just left him to it in the end.
But yes, I did see the 59s in N-Gauge, and they really do look great. It's come on a long way since the days of pizza cutter wheels and crude models in N-Gauge. These really did look exquisite. They were also showing off a decorated sample of the Class 128 Parcels railcar, which I really, really liked as well. And they had, I think it was a 3D print of the Caroline inspection coach in N-Gauge as well. What they did have factory samples of the container wagons that they're doing packs of in both 2 and 3 wagon sets to match the prototypes. They look really good. And also the Channel Tunnel car carrying wagons at 2 different distinct stages, of their evolution. But in terms of other things running on the layout, we've got the Class 46, which is weathered by Iron Horse Railways. His ears will pick up now. And that is running on the massive rake of mostly Mark 1s. Are you all right there, Cupboard Monkey? Monkey? Are we good to hit play?
Sorry.
Let's just. Does that help?
Sorry, guys. I'm starting to really lose it. Let's keep going.
Okay, let's just.
So this one's from Sarah. Can you read it from there?
I will read it. Don't you worry. So this is from Sarah Davis. It says, "Hi, missed my connection as I was on platform 5 waiting when my train was on platform 3. I hate Crew Station. Nothing ever goes right for me there." But
so what she's found there is a Royal Mail EMU passing through.
I thought that they'd stopped sending mail by rail, which was very unfortunate. It seemed to be a colossal.
Very efficient. So let's do it,
Yeah.
babe. Press the button.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
press-
launch. Here we go.
Let's go for it. Crew Station is always very interesting. I've only ever once changed trains there, but generally speaking, I pass through it a lot with work on the train. But it's quite interesting to see the EMU. I suppose it's the.
Oh my goodness, Stephen Cameron. I hope your mother gets well soon, man.
I'm so sorry to hear.
Yeah, she's in hospital after a heart attack. That's not good news, man.
Oh look, take care.
Yeah.
I hope
Take care. I hope she
well.
gets better. Oh my goodness.
So
Yeah.
SHGP Media says, Zoe, go and lie down. More important things than the stream. And Mark Wilson says GBRF run the postal trains. And it's just interesting to see. But Crew Station really is nice. Oh, there's the money shot. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
And for those of you who just got a glimpse of what Jenny's been watching lately, it appears to be Sarah Millican's stand-up comedy, Jimmy Carr's stand-up comedy, something about 8-track tapes, and an awful lot of Steve Leto talking about law.
Yeah, oh, and roadkill. Always love a bit of roadkill.
Thanks for that, Sarah. That was really nice.
So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I know it's always a complete doofus when you miss your train and you're like,
especially when it turns out the train was there, but you were on the wrong.
I presume that they weren't very clear with their platform announcing.
Oh. I've had that at Manchester sometimes, and even when they're clear, if there's a lot of noise, you can't understand a word they're saying.
I always check the screens.
Yeah, but if you're already on the platform and then something happens and you don't notice. Okay, let's keep going.
Melchester Model Railway says, I spent the night train spotting at Crewe in the late 80s after a good article in Rail magazine about the night traffic. Lots of postal trains then. But who have we got up next?
Hertfordshire Railway with early August evening running session.
Hertfordshire Railway, okay, let her rip.
Now this looks lovely.
They look like the Hornby 00 Pullmans. Really nice. We have seen this layout before, but I always do enjoy.
I love that church.
Absolutely.
And the way it blends to the background.
And this is a layout for watching trains running. It's really, really nice with the town scene behind there. And then we've got the train disappearing round through the tunnel. Oh, they're light up Pullmans. They're not Hornby 00. They're the proper Hornby ones by the look of it. Then we've got the J27, one of the Oxford Rail ones, in the LNER livery, and a rake of Kit Kat wagons. Oh, I could just do with a Kit Kat.
You know, when we were at Rails, I almost bought an entire range of Kit Kat and Weetabix and all the other named ones.
No.
I know, that's why I didn't get them, because I knew you'd go, no!
Yeah, the D16 on the other track, really nice. So we've got 2 trains can run on this, but then we've also got the loops through the station, which do actually add a lot of operational interest. So you can effectively switch between trains. But really, really nice.
I love those little platform things with his railway's name on. They're very nicely
the running
done.
in boards.
Yeah, they're very nicely done.
And some really nice use of the Metcalfe station canopies there and platforms. So there's actually four tracks through there. And that looks to be, is that a K1 or a K3? I'm going to say K1 or K3, a bit different. I couldn't see whether it was a 460 or a 260. But that there is an A3, I do recognise that. So some really nice trains, and this is a layout that is perfect for just watching trains run by.
It looks
and we've got lights, look at that, we've got lights in the buildings.
Yeah.
Really nicely done. So Timothy Kynard says, nice layout. Ruben Ashwell says, lovely layout. Tim's Model Railways in different videos says, is the green one a class 20, and if 20, are you getting dumber for it, because they always a class 20 together. And the class 20 going round is just running on its own. And whilst they did often run as pairs, it wasn't always the case that 20s would run together as pairs. So that's actually...
If class 20s run in pairs, does that mean they have great vision?
2020.
Sorry, I can't do it very well. I'm just...
And Valley's 56XX says, teaks. I do love the teak coaches. I am a big fan of the Hornby teak coaches. They do some very nice Gresley Suburbans, Gresley corridor coaches as well. Although Bachman did do a nice effort with the Thompsons, and I know the Thompsons, they're not actually teak coaches, they're metal, and then they're painted to look like teaks with a kind of, what do they call it, scrimble? What's the effect where you make it look like wood grain but with paint?
You're asking the
use
wrong
a
person.
sponge to do it. It's a really effective
The only one I
technique.
can remember.
I
I'm
love
not
an
a.
A4.
I'm not a paint artist. I'm a digital artist. The only one I remember is marbling.
I love an A4 there with the Gresley teaks. They look to be. They've got grey roofs. I don't remember Hornby doing them with grey roofs, apart from, unless they may be the early BR ones, like I'm running with the Manor.
Leslie Gilpin says it's Scrumble.
Scrumble.
Remember that coach that we saw? One of the model coaches where it looked like they just got one giant piece of wood.
Oh yeah, the
Did the entire thing.
I dubbed it the MFI wardrobe effect.
Yeah.
Sarah Davis says need to add some tumbleweed to the layout. What do you mean tumbleweed?
For all the bad jokes. We
Ah,
need a tumbleweed to bounce across the screen.
a big shepherd's crook and like. Oh, that's a great
That is
static
a
grass.
lovely effect.
I like your little sheep as well. Oh. So that person looks like they're sitting down, but they're not actually sitting on anything. Maybe they've got a shooting stick. I do love the J27 from Oxford Rail. Actually, I do wish they'd do another run of them,
Yeah.
and I'm still waiting eagerly for the J26. But in all honesty, I must actually get in touch with my contact at Oxford Rail and say, please, 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 can you do another run with different running numbers of the J27? It was such a great value locomotive. We do really, really need to see it reappear.
That was lovely. Thank you so much, Heartfilia. And
There is more to that video.
I'll put the link into the chat.
But obviously we're going to move over to another video. But yeah, there's a lot more there. And it's just great for watching trains go by.
Yeah.
Big hello to 156 Andrew. Great to see you in.
What's wrong?
I'm just reading back through the comments. A lot of people, putting Scrumble. I knew it was something like that. Valis 56XX says lovely houses in the BG. Mark Johnson says a nice looking layout. Flymo Chairman 1 says I checked the rail site last night and my WM Loud & Sons wagon is on order fine. Oh, is somebody saying they're having a problem ordering the William Loud thing?
I would hope not, because it should be there.
Yeah, so as far as we're aware, the William Loud wagon is still available to order. Do get your order in quick though, because I'm not sure how many are left. For all I know, it's like last I heard there was more than half had been sold, and that was a couple of months ago. So I don't know where they're up to. Leslie Gilpin Railway says there used to be a rake of red mark ones in Basford Hall sidings when they were hardly used, for use by X-Works locos being tested. Yeah, they used to have test trains.
Could you have a quick read of that?
This is from C. Bernickel.
Going to the dogs.
Going to the dogs. Says, attached video for tomorrow's Monday Club. This shows the heavily distressed Cavalex TEA 102-ton bogie tank wagons. Got to be a contender for the best UK freight wagon for this year.
Jen,
they do look really good. I haven't
could I
actually...
just suggest something, because that's just brought something to mind. We put out scores and review an awful lot on this channel. I say we. I edit them and you draw them. Draw them, edit them. You produce, make them, film them.
Yeah.
But we don't have an end of year summary where we give out like best of the year and.
You mean like prize giving?
What
Should
awards?
we get some little trophies made for manufacturers? So it's like Wagon of the Year, the Monday Club Wagon of the Year award, or the Monday Club overall Manufacturer of the Year. Maybe we should put a poll up on. Can we do polls on Facebook?
Polls. The thing I was thinking is, we should have like one for Locomotive of the Year, Wagon of the Year.
Oh no, but Locomotive of the Year, we should break that down into Steam Locomotive of the Year, Diesel Locomotive of the Year, Electric Loco of the Year,
Okay.
N-Gauge Model of the Year.
Yeah, something like that. We could actually have awards, but it would have to be stuff that you've actually reviewed.
Yes, and that would be the criteria. It can only be things that I've reviewed.
I think that would be a nice thing.
Yeah, so we'll look into about doing that. I like the idea of that.
So yeah, thanks to Going for the Dogs, because your mention there of Freight Wagon the Year has inspired us to nick the idea.
From what I've seen of these, the BBA is certainly incredible. I haven't reviewed the TEA, but I have kept on looking at the pictures of them and thinking that it's one of the best factory, done weathering. And there's some really good stuff from Bachmann have been leading the way, but this, I totally agree with you. It does take it to the next level, and it's done with paint. It's not an airbrush weathering, it's using the tempo printing technique, and you can see
that's tempo printed.
Yeah.
Wow.
You see what I mean? Like with the rusty patches.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
Really effective. Now, I take it if you get 2 3-packs, they look the same as each other, but certainly it's really, really effective. Etched walkways on the top.
Oh wow.
I think that's a class 60 that's just gone past. Fear my ability to know locomotives I have no interest in. But yeah, look at that detail.
That is phenomenal.
I'm going to have to get a pack of these, to be honest. They really do look nice.
Thanks for coming along, David Scott.
Thank you so much. It's been great to have your company.
Have a great
Don't forget to pop in, and you can watch the rest of the stream afterwards. It becomes a regular video.
I like
so you can
this
catch
layout.
up on. We've seen this layout before a few times.
I always like it because it looks like there's depth to it, but
I like the bridge that's not a bridge.
yeah, that's what I mean. It looks like there's depth to it, but there's not as much as you'd
Such a
expect.
great scenic idea. This
Yeah.
bridge that's not a bridge.
It's a great way of
And that's why
world
you can
building,
have,
essentially.
and that's why you can have the points with the underbaseboard point motors under them
Yeah.
on the bridge. Because it really does work well as a nice scenic feature.
This is lovely.
Yeah, each wagon has distressing applied differently.
That is so
Multiple
well done.
layers of tempo printing using different colours and tones. That is actually really, really good.
Yeah. Mark Wilson, good point. Best TT loco of the year goes to. That's why we would limit it to stuff that you've actually reviewed.
It's got to be things that I've reviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, squeaky wheels seems to be a thing. Bachmann Mark 1s are terrible for it. I was saying that these are quite well behaved, but I have oiled them all.
And I love the fact that for him to send this in, he's got text on screen, so it avoids the speech, which is great.
Sprung metal buffers, NEM couplings fitted as standard. They look amazing.
They really do.
They really do, actually, yeah.
Whoa. He's really gone in for them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get myself some, I'll be honest with you. Oh, is that one of the DCC Concepts end of train lamps?
That is pretty sweet.
So thank you
so much.
so much. Really great to see that. And I totally agree with you. There's some great finish going on with those.
Yeah.
So we've got time for at least one more. So let's see what else have we got. Are we up to date?
Yeah. This. Okay. Well, that's not. That's not a Monday Club link. That is the Monday Club being live and YouTube.
You mean it's actually
about
updated? So it's actually told you for a change.
Yeah.
First time I've seen that.
I accidentally pressed the notify me button even though I was on the show.
Right. So are there any?
Next up we've got Charlie. I can't read what he says again.
Right. So good afternoon. Hope you're both well and it's not too hot for you. Will feel like 40 degrees here today. I've attached a link to my latest video of a review of the Model Railway Enthusiasts magazine. I missed the Wednesday production as I was downtown, but I'm watching it now.
Let's have a look. Now this one I thought we would
review
have
of
a
a
look at
magazine.
because we don't often see magazines reviewed.
Okay.
So here we are.
So
We can't see what he's saying.
it certainly is an interesting idea to
Yeah.
review a magazine that you might not be familiar with.
And
you
it's
can
another
see
way
here.
of getting information. I like the the way they've got the layout with the text, and then a nice, interesting, contrasting image.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting. So have a quick look at this. It's something that we're not able to play the sound on, but certainly I like the idea of a magazine review.
Yeah.
Simply so that you know what you're kind of getting.
So we got to see the front cover. If I go back a little bit, Model Railway Enthusiast.
Not one I've ever read before.
September 1999, that says.
Oh, this is a retro review.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your Muscle Car magazine as well.
That'll be why it's a different layout style to what you see in
modern
magazines.
I thought it looked a little bit old school. Josh's Railway Adventure says, I got one of the Cavalex models TEA tanker wagons in total livery.
Oh my goodness. This is a very different style, isn't it, to what you get now with the overproduced stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking at an issue of the Meccano magazine from the 60s, which had a review of the Hornby 008F when it was introduced.
Oh, wow.
And it's quite interesting to see the different expectations.
Yeah.
So, really nice. Totally Trains, there's a retailer that's gone.
Yeah. Pour one out for another lost retailer.
Yeah. Although I remember that they were sometimes quite naughty. They didn't advertise whether it was in stock or not. And when you ordered something, they quite often, you get your order and it's like, where's everything else? And you'd ring them up and they'd be like, oh, it's on back order. And I thought, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, what our company policy? And it's like, well, no, Jenny's personal policy is that, if you don't have it in stock, you're supposed to say, do you still want to proceed with the order?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Which is actually also what the sale of goods legislation says.
Yeah.
So and they got a bit shirty with me.
I bet
so
you did.
I reported them to trading standards. They
Sarah
stopped trading
Davis.
a couple of years later.
Sarah Davis has a good point there. For a nearly 25-year-old magazine, amazing condition. It really is. This is really nice. It's a trip down memory lane in a different way to what we would normally see on the show.
Somewhere up here, I've got some old magazines actually going back to early 2000s. I think is about the earliest I've got. Maybe just touching 1999. And I don't tend to, as a rule, keep magazines unless it has an article in that I find particularly inspiring. So there's certain magazines where I've kept them for a particular layout, and that's my. Otherwise, you could end up with so many magazines.
Yeah, I have that issue in my office right now. I had to basically stop getting Retro Gamer because every single month it's a massive magazine and nowhere to store it. So now I only pick them up if I like the stuff that is in that issue. Right, I'm going to skip on because this is lovely, and again, we've got the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Charlie,
thank you
for
so much.
sending in something very different.
Certainly one worth looking at, a trip down memory lane and just see. I always find the prices very interesting. I've got a 2001 copy of the Railway Modeler, and I kept it for an article on Iron Mould Lane. Love that layout. But when you look at the Hatton's advert and they're listing Bachmann branch line wagons when they first came out at about £4.50 each, and the Bachmann Mark 1 coaches at £16 a coach. Yeah, I know. And some of the locomotives, like I think they had the Hornby ex Lancashire and Yorkshire Pugs for about £17.50. The Worthington Model Railway says, I used to cut out pages and throw ads away and put what's left in a ring binder. I know some people that do that. I don't like messing about with cutting up magazines.
I completely understand. I can totally see why the internet has killed the magazine market. Because let's face it, it's so much easier to store blog posts. So what we've got here is Peter Jackson from Cheadle Heath.
And this is going to be our last delve into video world. But
so could you read out what he said?
So this is, hello Zoe, just a short video. 50 seconds of steam pannier tank 1501 and diesel class 03 03066 working a short train at Barrow Hill Open Day on the 26th of August 2022. Oh, interesting. So 1501, the pannier tank, that's forthcoming in model form from Rapido. But 03066, can I just say, I have a model of that exact locomotive. So there she is, 03066.
There we go.
So I'm quite happy to learn that she still exists. So here comes the pannier. Now, am I right in thinking that there used to be a branch line that went beyond Barrow Hill? And I do wonder, do they have any plans to extend their running line by restoring that branch line to any degree? And that's with Mark II coaches there. Very unusual to see the Mark IIs in the pre-BR blue-grey. Some of them did get it when first delivered. I love a Class 03 shunter. I think their nickname was Jockos. Because you have Gronks, but they're Jockos.
Yeah, I remember Ginties and Jockles. Someone had a T-shirt of that at
So thank you
one of the events
so
we
much.
went to. His T-shirt said it's not a Ginty, it's a Jocko.
Oh. Valley's 56XX says 15XX. I love them. They are quite nice. They've got that kind of utilitarian look to them. And Raymond Legg says I like side rod diesels. Yeah, me too. I like all these little shunters. I must admit, I'm really looking forward to the Class 02 shunter from Hellion. But Class 3s, Class 4s. Of course, we're getting an all-new Class 04 shunter from Rapido Trains. That was the other news I did remember eventually. So the Bachmann one is finally being replaced. Now it'll be interesting to see, does Bachmann make a comeback here and suddenly, ta-da, just delivers an all-new Class 04 shunter? You can never really tell.
Well, that's the thing about Bachmann now.
They've done it with the 37.
Because they announce things quarterly. They could have something in the works that's been going on for ages and you just don't know about it until it's practically here.
Not just that, they seem to like to hold one thing back and then just announce it and it's there in the shops.
Yeah.
They did that with the Double Fairly, they did that with the Class 37. So I think that it stands to reason that they may, because they did announce they were retooling the Class 04 shunter. A long time ago, and it's kind of dropped off the radar with them. But it would be interesting to see if they were still working on it, and maybe it will just appear. Skipsy Train says a good day out at Barrow Hill. Went to this event with my boys the day after the Rails Open Day. Oh, so you had a busy weekend.
We
Valley's
didn't have a
56.
busy weekend, did we? We only did several live streams and then came home and sat in the paddling pool until this morning.
Valley's 56XX says Ginties and Jocks were the nicknames for the same thing. See, I always thought a Class 03 was its nickname was a Jocko. Mark Wilson asks, where did the O2 shunters operate? Well, on British Rail, they operated sort of Speke, Liverpool docks. They were basically a like-for-like replacement for the ex-Lancashire and Yorkshire Pug. So anywhere that the Pug operated, if they still required locomotives into the late 60s, early 70s, then the Class 02 could be found. Although they weren't long-lasting with BR, they did last long enough that 3 carried a tops number, although it did seem a bit of a lash-up paint job. In reality, none of them got officially painted into rail blue, but they got sold on into industrial use, and a lot of them found further use, quite far-reaching. So Pensnet in Birmingham, the distribution sidings there, 2 of the O2s turned up there, including, I think it was either 02 or 03, or 02004. It's one of the two tops numbered ones made it to there,
And,
and actually got repainted in rail blue.
Of course, you've got to remember that the O2s are now transporting all your text messages and voice calls via BT.
Come on, do the yeah. Birds Metals Long Marston had one as a shunter. Lowton Metals at Haydock as well. Yeah, I know, Snuggles. But sorry, she was giving me the time thing. So the Angel of Cruises, Jenny, did you get any more goodies from Rails of Sheffield apart from your coaches? I got the pair of coaches. I got 3 Bachmann Branchline wagons at a £5 each. I also bought a Hellion locomotive, brand new, but I will reveal that when I do the full review of it. And then I also bought a 28XX GWR 280 freight loco.
And you got a few goodie bags as well.
Lots of goodie bags. So there's lots of kits and stuff as well turned up. Pico very, very kindly sent me away with a TT goodie bag full of some points, flexi track, a whole load of building kits, and I promise I will be doing a TT little diorama layout build. I may need to try and track down some, maybe at least one wagon kit to run on it, I think.
Well, if you can find a wagon kit, I'll build it on a monkey build.
Yeah, because I don't have any HOM, which would be the other thing to sort of, to kind of cheat and use. But we are now past 9 o'clock, and I'm going to have to go to bed. The cover monkey is very, very ill anyway. But I've got work in the morning. David, it's my mother Rose, says, Jenny just remembers KR model Shay Loco update. I know nothing. I learned the English from a book. I don't personally have any information on the Shay, but I will ask actually, because I am in contact with them. But lost my place now, so I got a bit of a brain fog at the moment. But anyway, look, it just got time for me to say thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to tickle the like button if you haven't already done so, and share the stream as well. The Monday Club Wagon is still available to order, as best I know, so do get your order in quick. And how are we going with the merchandise? Is it back yet?
At what point did you give me a minute to do it?
I'm sorry, you had time that you just slept through. You wasted time with sleep.
I'm going to set it up tomorrow.
But look, you guys take great care, and thank you so much for joining us. Next week we've got some great reviews. For those of you who go, well, look, no matter how easy you make making your own trees look, you know what, I don't enjoy doing it, I don't want to do it. We have got a review on Wednesday of out of the box trees. These come from a company called Bush, but they're actually trees that they're distributed in the UK by Golden Valley Hobbies. And I've got a full review and a little project build with them, and they look amazing. So anybody who goes, I don't care how easy you make making trees look, I just want to buy them. Well, we've got a video for you on Wednesday. And then on Friday, Rocket Railways have very kindly sent over a mystery box. So we're going to be checking out the mystery box. And what's in the box? Well, you'll have to keep watching for Friday to see. But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care. Bye for now.
The train now departing is the 2107 service to bed. Good night.
Yes.